How do you respond to people who question your truth?
Oh, I can't. It's not even that I don't. It's that I can't. I can't think about that anymore. As in the people that don't believe me. What that has done to me over the last 7 years, it's been detrimental to my mental.
She's gonna try and link it to the food somehow.
Well, we got to.
Listen.
I'm curious to see how you see it.
And again,
Please don't mention Subway, because that ain't the food that we're talking about. They kept telling me about these cookies, and they kept on being like, just eat these cookies. And they kept on being like, oh, well, Robert loved these cookies. And sooner or later, I was like, why y'all keep telling me about Robert? Robert was Robert Kelly, R. Kelly.
You are appearing in Fox's Special Forces World's Toughest Test. What made you go on this show?
Girl, the money.
Today I'm joined by someone who's no stranger to the spotlight. Actor, singer, and all-round creative soul, Jussie Smollett. From his early days in the Mighty Ducks to stealing the show on Fox's Empire, Jussie has built a career filled with music, acting, and plenty of applause along the way. Of course, his journey hasn't been without its ups and downs, but through it all, he's continued to create, perform, and share his voice with the world. Today, we get to delve into his food memories, his culinary delights, and see a new side of him. Jussie, welcome to Crazy Sexy Food.
That was so good.
Oh.
Thank you for that, my darling.
God, your voice is very sensual.
Well, thank you.
I love it. Just keep talking to me.
Thank you, darling.
I'm not going to ask any questions.
Don't even bother. Let's just relax, everybody. Let's just chill. Good vibes, good soul.
You know what? You've got a voice for meditation. You should get on like the Calm
You know
app.
what? You're right. I'm going to do that. I'm available. Y'all call me. I'm available.
I'm honestly so excited to have you.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm such a fan of yours.
Oh, thank you so much. And I mean, we're going to go through everything, but I knew about you. I discovered you when you were on Empire, and
most of the world did.
Most of the world did, but I was a huge fan of that show.
Thank you.
And I think the beauty of me having this podcast is that it gives me the opportunity to have the people that I admire on. Like, it's just a great excuse to basically just meet all the people that I love.
I've seen your show. Yeah, you meet some really cool people.
Yeah, there's been some lovely people on. But tell me, you live in London now.
I do. I do.
Why? Why London?
Just, I lived in Battersea many years ago, about a million years ago, like 20 years ago. But being here now is it's weird because all of my friends that live here, and I say this, they're like, you're absolutely mad. But there's a certain calm that I get here that I don't get in the States. And I love the States. The States is home. My family is there. I don't want anybody to read too deep into it. I still love my country. But yeah, just being here, my fiance and I came here and my music team is here. So we're shooting my next film at the end of first quarter of next year. Nice. So I finished the script while I was here and handed it in. Just very inspired by the music scene here, inspired by the art scene and food is, who said that British food was not good? Because you're wrong.
You know what? It was for a very long time. And then I feel like the past 10 to 15 years, we have just gone up to the top.
You know why though? Because it's such a melting pot of different cultures. So I can understand when people say, oh, food that is historically British, they might not feel it, but it's like, but now British food is everybody. Mm-hmm. It's so culturally diverse that you really get, I'm walking down the street, I'm like, come on, my petite Jamaica, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's great restaurants here. So yeah, the food, the culture, the people, it's just very, it's not, at least for me, it's not as fast and anxiety driven as the States are for me.
That's so interesting to hear. You have new music out. Yes. We have to talk about this. Congratulations on the release of your new album, Breakout. So my two favorite tunes from the album are, drum roll, My Party.
Okay.
And This I Know. They're on repeat.
I want to hug you. Do you understand? Y'all, nobody tells me this I know, but that's my favorite song.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can never say that because I gotta like say what the popular songs are on the album. It's
they're
This
my
I
kind of thing.
Know. To me, it's This I Know, y'all.
Yeah.
Like it
It's
gives
a
me Bee
sexy
Gees.
tune.
Thank you.
Yes.
Like we was going for the Bee Gees vibe. I imagine John Travolta walking down the street. I love you for saying that because nobody says that. They say Just Be, they say Breakout.
I mean, it's all
they say,
great.
I
It's all
love
great,
I love
but-
the album. I trying to be humble, but I love the album.
Yeah.
But This I Know has always been my favorite. And every time I'm like, what about This I Know? The record company and everybody's just like, oh, that's great. And then the conversation continues. And I'm like, y'all, hello, what about This I Know? And they're like, what about some things?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And I love, so thank you for saying that.
No, absolutely. I mean, how does it feel to kind of be back in the music game? You know,
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
It feels amazing. You know, it was scary, you know, just getting back to it. Not so much getting back to the work, because the work is what saves me. You know, that and my family is what saves me. But putting it out, you can record and record and record. Anybody who does anything knows that, you know, there are screenwriters who write brilliant scripts and never put them out, and never even attempt to put them out, and brilliant artists who, you know, have incredible, you know, music in the vault that they don't put out for whatever reason. So it's created, but putting it out is a whole different thing. It's like letting your baby go to school, and you're like, oh my gosh, like now they're just subject to the scrutiny and the people, you know, people being possibly not so nice to them. But you got to take the chance, and you got to just, you know, because I could sit and I could strum the guitar and play the songs for my mom till I'm blue in the face, and she's a great audience. She loves music. She loves to hear me sing. But it's interesting to put it out there and for it to be received in the way that it's been received so far. We've reached our #1 R&B album in the States, on Apple iTunes, and you know, just keep on working, and it feels really, really good. I'm grateful. I'm in such a place of love, but also equally gratitude of where I'm at in my life, where I'm at in my personal life, where I'm at in my professional life. But more so, I believe that where I'm at in my professional life is because of where I'm at with my personal life. Like somehow it's trickling over, and yeah, just moving on with love.
I love this. Well, you have a fan in me, so that's
Thank
good.
you. I appreciate it. You have a fan in me too.
Oh, stop down.
And now you have a fan even more because you like This I Know. So what? Come on, Jesus.
I love this. Okay, I want to take it back. You were
Back
born
in time.
Oh, back in time. Isn't that the start of a Jodeci track?
Yes, it's Take You Back into Time. Yes, I love you. Come on, 90s girl.
Darling, I have older brothers.
Come
That gave me
on.
the education.
MCA, Uptown, Universal, what? Come on.
God, this was the duo we never knew we needed,
come
right?
on. Andre Harrell was putting it down.
You were born and raised in Northern California and New York. I want to know what life...
I was born in Northern California, not to cut you
Right.
off, but I was born in Northern California and then moved to New York when I
Yeah.
was 2,
Okay.
and then moved to LA. So I
So you
was
kind of
raised
dotted from west to east, back to west.
Yeah.
I want to know what life is like growing up, because you're one of 6.
Yes.
That's madness.
My parents ain't had a lot of hobbies. Maybe one. Yes, six children in in the 90s and 2000s. It was a lot. But my life growing up was so good. It was, you know, we weren't without our trials and tribulations, of course, and the things that we went through, and we didn't have a lot of paper. You know, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, but we had so much. I did not realize until becoming an adult just how broke we really were. You know, how my mother made certain things work is still to this day beyond me. And, you know, she built every single bed that we had, every sofa that we had, every table and chair that we had growing up. And then food. Food was such a huge thing growing up. Because we had to do certain things ourselves. I think that's why now, even with, you know, like my album release or releasing a film or something like that, I'm not afraid to do it stripped down. I'm not afraid to do it alone, while also recognizing that like I'm never alone, because I have an incredible team of supporters and just an incredible team of people that know exactly what they're doing. Um, but yeah, like life was really great. We grew up. I was born in Northern California, and then my father was from New York, my mother from New Orleans. So we moved to New York when I was 2. All of my siblings except myself and my youngest brother, Jockey, were all born in New York. And we were born in California. So um, New York is home. New York is home. California is home. I have family in the Bay Area. I have family in Los Angeles. All of my main family is still in LA. Um, but yeah, it was a good time growing up. It was crazy. We were like I don't know if we were like the Brady Bunch with an
Thought you were going to
edge.
say that.
We were the Brady Bunch with a little edge, you know. uh, um, but yeah, we did it, and we were really happy growing up.
Talk to me about the food. I want to know how it played a part, like in the family life. I want to know, were you all sitting down together at meal times? Who was cooking? What was on the table?
We all at a point, up until the point where my parents separated and then eventually divorced, but we would eat dinner together every single night. My mother, an amazing cook. My mother from New Orleans, so you already know like the food situation is a problem, And then on top of it, she also was and still is a bit of a health nut. So, she would always find different ways to make um like, oh, we're going to make sweet potato pie, but we're going to make it with no dairy, and it tastes exactly the same. Or we're going to make gumbo, but we're not going to use pork sausage because we don't eat pork, so we're going to do this and da, 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 da. And we don't eat pork unless we're doing baby back ribs, and we eat a little bit of pork. You know what I'm saying?
There's always one thing.
There's always one thing
slips through,
and you always end up being like, "Yeah, I don't eat pork except baby back ribs, bacon, and da 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 da." It's like, bro, you eat pork. What are you talking about? I haven't eaten pork in a couple years, but yeah, I haven't eaten pork in a couple years. But baby back ribs are amazing, amazing. But I don't eat pork. I don't.
Yeah.
But baby back ribs and bacon and stuffed pork chops, whatever. Leave me alone. Shut up. So there's that. Um, yeah, and then my father, not necessarily the chef of the family. He was a nice man. God rest his soul. But he was the type that he would make spaghetti and he'd take tomato paste, because my mother wouldn't allow for us to buy homemade, store-bought tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce. And he'd make the spaghetti sauce and he'd be like, "It's done." I'm like, "No, it's not." Because he would just take some tomato paste and put some black pepper in it.
Okay.
Very stereotypical about not using seasoning. And I don't believe that stereotype. However, my father did not season properly. And my mama seasoned like a god.
Yeah.
And she also
fairy dust.
Yes, oh my God, like fairy dust. And she knew she didn't even necessarily have to use the powdered seasoning. Like she knew she knew the trios, the the onions and the garlics and the celeries and the this and the parsley and the da. She just knew how to put she don't really cook anymore because she makes us cook, but yeah, she threw it down. That is absolutely where we learned how to cook. Even though my father did know how to make one dish amazing, he made a Cuban dish named pecadillo.
Okay,
and it's like beef, or you can use ground turkey, or you can even use lamb. And it's like capers and green olives, onions, tomatoes, and it's just a really delicious dish over like some white rice. And
so is it like a stew?
It's almost like a stew. Yeah, it is almost like a stew, but it's not entirely. But it's called pecadillo, and it's delicious. And he used to throw down on that. But that's because that's a dish that you just olives, capers,
it all goes in one.
Tomatoes. Yeah. Okay. So he was good at, you know what? Let me give my pops more credit. He was good at one pot meals.
Yeah.
He was good at that. My mother was good at any pot meals. So that was that. That's who we learned to cook from.
Something that as I was doing my research on you, you come from a really interesting cultural mix. I know you say sort of your mum was from New Orleans, your dad's from New York, but Your mum was African American
Yeah.
and Irish. I'm gonna say that again. African American and Irish on your mum's side.
African American and, Irish because we come from the States and,
There's a bit of Irish.
some
everywhere.
things was happening. Okay. So we just
And
gonna
we'll
leave it
leave
at
it
that. Okay. Because, in the States, we might not be able to study our history anymore, but y'all can pick up a book. Y'all know what happened. So yeah, there's some Irish in there because of that. But, shout out to Ireland.
But also your dad was Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so my dad's Jewish.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so
That's right. Gefilte fish. What?
Oh.
Get into it. Come on.
God, we were always meant to meet.
Come on.
You just mentioned that on my
on.
podcast and I love
Come
you.
on. Gefilte fish. The matzo ball soup is delicious. I don't know why we grew up thinking that carrot cake was Jewish, but I don't know that carrot cake is Jewish.
We'll just claim it. It's fine.
It's like,
but so was he quite religious?
No, actually, he. I remember being 12 years old and my 13th birthday coming up, and mom was like, "So, bro, what's up? Like, are we gonna do a bar mitzvah?" Because my older brother didn't have one, my older sister didn't have a bat mitzvah, and my dad was like, "Nah." I'm like, "But I hear they get a lot of money. I hear like the homies get a lot of money, so what's good?" But my daddy was Jewish, but he was broke. So
was mine.
It's just like, he's like, there ain't no money to get. There is no money. There's no family to call. So we grew up more culturally, where it wasn't necessarily, we didn't go to temple or anything like that, but we did celebrate Easter and Passover. We did celebrate, Christmas and Hanukkah. So even after they were no longer together, my mother is the one that really made sure, because she was so and is so strong about celebrating all that you are and your culture and everything like that. I grew up as a Black man. I grew up in America. So I absolutely, positively grew up as a Black man. I don't know anything other than that. I've never been pulled over by the cops and they say, "You look like your father is Jewish. I'm going to let you go." That's never happened. But it was interesting because we did not grow up calling ourselves biracial, grew up calling ourselves Black, but we did call ourselves multicultural because my father we did study what it was to be Ashkenazi and Jew, but it was not based on the religion, even though we, of course, appreciate and respect all religions. We were not brought up. And then also on top of it, my mother didn't convert.
Yeah.
So I remember us going to a Jewish school and attempting to get into the school and them turning us down because my mother she didn't convert to Judaism. So they didn't consider us
I was
Jewish.
about to say it has to go through the mother's line.
Exactly. So that's why I was just like, oh, okay, so I am what my mama is, then I'm Black. I can get into that school. So,
but I'll take the gefilte fish.
I still like the gefilte fish. I'm not mad at the gefilte fish. It's not my people who did it. It's just that damn school. So F that school. But I love a gefilte fish and a nice little horseradish.
Oh, I love a good
horseradish. And I like putting a horseradish in a baked potato.
Oh.
Yeah, stay with me.
Ooh.
It's really good. Some little horseradish, a little bit of butter. Oh, I should talk a little bit of butter.
Yeah,
a little bit of butter, a little bit of horseradish. It's very good.
Oh, I might do that.
Yeah, do that.
Love
and a baked
that.
potato. It's really good.
So, sticking with your childhood, you're a child actor. You starred in The Mighty Ducks. This was in '92. A very different time for the industry.
Yeah, it's very different.
I kind of want to know, how did this role come about?
The people behind Mighty Ducks have to talk more about that because there's there's a huge story of how that came to be, but I don't know if I should tell it. I auditioned, got the role, and then some things were shifted around, and my character ended up being what it was. We spent 4 months in the freezing cold of Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities in Minnesota. I remember working with those kids and just having the time of my life. I think that I came from such a large family. At that time, there were only 5 of us, the kids, but we were in such a large family that it felt comfortable to be around all of those kids. And I hadn't had the opportunity at that point in my life to go to school outside the home. So it was really, I was 8 years old when we did that. So we spent 4 months doing that. And I, I just remember how kind Emilio Estevez was. I remember at that point, he was married to Paula Abdul. So Paula Abdul came on the set. And that was 1991, y'all. So Paula Abdul
She was the one.
yes, it was like Janet and Madonna and Paula Abdul. Like they were the dance pop star girls of that time. And I remember her coming on, said she had like these high heel Converse shoes on. And I was like, dang, Paula Abdul is everything. And yeah, it's weird that I remember meeting Jeffrey Katzenberg back in the day before, before he was a big Disney executive. But yeah, I have nothing but, happy memories about the Mighty Ducks. And I still talk to a lot of the people from the Mighty Ducks.
But I'm just like imagining you said you were 8 years old. You said this is the first time you've kind of left your huge family. What's that life like as a child actor? So did either of your parents come with you?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. My mom was with me the entire time. My mom wouldn't let us like breathe in front of other adults without her being there, Yeah, I think that's why I didn't have no trouble until she stopped managing me. It was like, okay, time to be in trouble. My mother's not around. But yeah, she was always there. I remember my younger brother Jake also came. My siblings came to visit a couple times. But yeah, we were all together. The thing is though, for me, it was different because I was not growing up, I wasn't a child star. Like I was a child actor. I didn't have the pressures that a Macaulay Culkin or a Lindsay Lohan or a Raven Simone or even my little sister Journey that they had, because I was an actively working actor. I was not on the cover of every magazine. I just didn't have that pressure. By the time I was getting pimples, nobody was looking at me. There were just certain things that I didn't necessarily have to go through at that time. So my experience was different because, like you said, I was a working actor, but I was not was no Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen over here.
God, that was my childhood.
Love them.
It's Hannah here, and I'm so excited to be working with wayfair.co.uk. Why? Because just like great food, a beautiful home should be full of personality, quality, and joy. Wayfair has everything to bring your dream space to life at prices that make it simple. That's why I'm proud to partner with them. So get it out of your head and into your home with wayfair.co.uk.
I'm really, really fast forwarding to 2014. You're cast in Empire. As I mentioned at the top of the interview, this was such an interesting series for someone like me because it married the idea of TV with music, but particularly the genre of music that I was growing up with in my family, and obviously still love today. It was a really groundbreaking role that you played. You were playing a gay black man on TV. And I'd love to know how that was for you, because it was a powerful role.
Yeah, no, thank you. I will forever hold a special place for Jamal Joseph Lyon. I don't think a lot of people knew that was his middle name, but Jamal Joseph Lyon. That we really, really, really broke a lot of new ground. We did. And to be a part of that was something that I'll forever be grateful that I had that opportunity to be a part of, that I had the opportunity to help build a character that just resonated with so many people across the board, across race, age, sexuality, religion, whatever it may be. It crossed those lines. I remember sitting in a diner in Chicago, like season 2. And this big white dude just walks up to me. And at first I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you want, bro? But he walked up to me. He was so kind. And he said, I just want to say thank you, because you never know. Like somebody come up to you in the middle of a diner, you never know what's going to happen. You're always, for me at least, like I grew up, my father acted like he was in the mafia. He wasn't. He was a cable splicer. So, but he was New York to his core, and everything was always be on guard. So I was always on guard for a while until I wasn't. And this guy came up to me and I didn't know what to expect, but he said, I just want to say thank you. It's because of you that I was able to talk to my son about his sexuality.
Wow.
And it's stuff like that that you don't realize in real time when you're doing it, that it's going to have that sort of effect. But that's the effect that you want it to have. You just don't even realize at that point that you want to have that effect because you don't realize that you could. So I knew that we were creating a project that was going to be special and was going to be critically acclaimed because of the people that were behind it, But what I didn't know is the impact that it would have on so many people. And I know factually that if I had someone like a Jamal Lyon to look to when I was growing up, I know factually I would have had an understanding of who I was at a much earlier point in my life.
Yeah.
So to have been a part of that and to have had that opportunity is just, it's golden. It's golden. Still to this day, I'm very, very proud of it.
Again, as well, as I said, it married sort of these two loves of your life, the music and the acting. In terms of the music industry,
Yes, oh my God.
you can't get any higher than a Grammy.
Yeah. I know we were
We're
nominated.
going to go with Win.
Well, you know what? I ain't going with nothing because y'all ain't going to say I'm lying about something. So y'all just going y'all go Google that because I don't know. Leave me alone. Get out of my face.
Whether it was a nomination or a win, it's groundbreaking in the sense of the topics you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're getting the accolades. I mean, when you're in it, do you realize it, or is that the beauty of hindsight?
Yeah, because hindsight is 2020. During that, I still look back a decade later and I'm just like, we did that, really? I don't think that during the time I was even able to keep up with all of the things that were happening. And a part of that, without getting too deep and bringing down the vibe, is, my father passed away the day that Empire first aired on television. I don't think a lot of people know that, but he passed away. Empire aired January 7th, 2015 at 8 or 9 p.m. And my father passed away January 7th, 2015 at 5:58 a.m. So there wasn't time, like for me in that period, there wasn't necessarily time. I was just going with the flow. I was really just doing what I was told to do because it was what I wanted so badly. I wanted that opportunity. I wanted to be able to tell that type of story, But the first season of Empire, I was playing an openly gay artist whose father was dying. Because, they changed it up in end of season 1. They're like, psych, Lucius isn't dying. We're like, wait, what? You have ALS. What do you mean? Yeah, he doesn't have it. Oh, okay. Well, okay, we'll go with that. But in the season, that the chunk of the season that we were shooting, I was playing, to me as the character, I was playing an openly gay artist who was struggling with his father, who had been homophobic and was dying. And in real time, I'm an openly gay artist whose father had struggled with some homophobia and was dying of cancer. So it was weird. It was this weird,
it's like sliding
parallel
doors.
It was this parallel but completely different because Jamal is dealing with his father in this huge mansion. I'm dealing with my father in a 1-bedroom apartment in Burbank. So it's just it was so odd how it was the reality and then the flip of playing on Empire. And so I wasn't aware. I think that's why it's like when the Grammy stuff or the American Music Awards stuff, the only thing that I was really, really present for was the NAACP Image Awards. Because the NAACP Image Awards, that was so huge to my family as a whole, to be honored by the NAACP that meant so much to us growing up. But everything else, I think I just didn't connect it and kind of was like, oh, that's amazing for them. That's incredible for them. But not was like, oh, but I'm a writer on that. I'm not just a singer on that. I'm a singer and I'm a writer on that. Oh, so I'm a Grammy nominated writer. Oh, so I'm an American Music Awards nominated artist and writer. And it just didn't click. I recently saw that I had been nominated as Best New Artist on Soul Train Awards. And I'm like, what? Well, why the hell didn't I go? Because we were working, so there were all of these things that were happening where you're playing an artist, so you don't necessarily have time to concentrate on the accolades that you're getting as the actual artist that you are, if that makes sense.
No, I totally get it. I've got to find a way to link it to the food. So we've got to talk about food.
Oh, there's always a way to link it to the food, darling.
Always.
Darling.
Food on set. What was the catering like?
It depends, because some productions put more importance on catering than not. I think that in the beginning of the show, we didn't have like a big budget at first. And then we just became this massive hit. So season 1, there wasn't a lot that was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It was like, but season 2, oh baby, we had money. Oh, darling, we made them money, darling. So they were giving us good food, darling. But it was also really healthy because they wanted us to look a certain way.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So they didn't have I'm like, where's my sandwich? And they're like, don't you dare. You better wrap that in a lettuce. The food was really good. The food was really, really good. And we would, people would, like different directors that were there for the episode, they might order a food truck or things like that. The food was really good. But Chicago, just in general, Chicago
major food scene.
Oh my God. Chicago food is so good. And I'm not talking about the deep dish pizza, because I don't like deep dish pizza. But I believe that their regular pizza is some of the best pizza ever. Their, beef sausages, because we don't eat the pork, except for baby back ribs, bacon, and stuffed pork chops. Leave me alone. Don't be bothering me.
Can I also just say, most Jews I know literally all say this. They're like, no, I don't eat pork, but bacon.
But you know what also, though?
And Parma ham.
And I'm a black man. So you're going to tell me that I can't eat my shellfish?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're going to say? You're going to say that I can't eat shrimp? I understand. It's the roach of the sea. We get it. But damn you. Like, you put a shrimp in front of my face, I'm probably going to eat the shrimp. So, I'm a bad Jew. I'm a bad Muslim. I'm a bad everything. But I try. I do.
That's all you can do, darling.
Really try.
Tell me, what's on your rider?
Oh my gosh. You are hilarious. What was on my rider was always like vegetables and see, it's different. It's different that like the era that you're in, because during the time of Jamal, it was important that he stayed almost waif. Like we wanted him to be a little bit of Michael Jackson, a little bit of Lenny Kravitz, a little bit of, maybe a little touch of like a Ricky Martin. There was all of that. But the main thing was we wanted the clothes to drape on him. And so I had to stay a little petite.
Did you have a team around you? Did you have like trainers and
I did.
nutritionists?
Yeah, I didn't have nutritionists because my mom was so good about that. Like I could call my mom at any point and be like, what am I supposed to be eating for this? I have to look like I could send my mom a picture of how I'm supposed to look for the next role. And my mom will tell me what I need to eat. But I still need trainers because for me, at least, it's kind of like they at least to jumpstart me, it's like taking your car to a mechanic. I could change the flat tire. I could change a tire. I can change a tire in real time. But I can't fix the transmission and all of that type of stuff. So just like, please come and help me with this car, get it back in shape. Because I can bounce back really easily. But if I look at a donut, it's just me. And that's just the way that it is. So You know, I've been known to you know, yo-yo a little bit. So I have to keep that under control, and especially as I get older, making sure that you know, I'm just healthy, and not so much just about weight. Because if I'm concerned just with weight, then what I'll do is I'll end up dieting. That's not good.
So what does the rider look like now? So wait, so you said the rider, so it did used to look like
Back then it looked like
vegetables.
vegetables, and then I would notice, I saw my rider and I was like, oh, they added some stuff, because I would see things like vodka and I'm like, if I have a rider, that means I'm performing somewhere. Usually there's no way. Well, one time I did drink before a performance and I live to regret it, so I will never ever do that again. We can talk about that. That was a lot. Like, I mean, it was New Year's, leave me alone, stop it. So it was a lot, but I did drink. And then I remember my creative director was just yelling at me because, side note, okay, whatever. But now my rider is simpler, is even simpler. It's usually just, you know, room temperature water, cold water. I usually like a bucket of ice and vegetables and stuff, because I never want to, I always like to, before I do something, I never like to eat too much. I always, and then afterwards my adrenaline is rushing and I'm just like,
Yeah.
give me that patty, you know, and it's just ridiculous. And I'm eating like a slob. But beforehand, my rider is actually pretty chill. My fiance wrote a rider recently and I looked at for me, and I looked at the rider and I was like, this is not my rider. I'm not sending this in. Because he's just funny. He'll put ridiculous things, like he put caviar on my rider.
Oh, I'm coming to your dressing
I
room.
said, darling, we do not eat caviar. Like, I mean, we literally don't eat caviar. You just want these people to spend money, because we don't eat caviar. I went to this event with Taraji a couple of months ago, and I was sitting there, and these people had, for dinner, they had chicken nuggets, like chicken McNuggets, and French fries and stuff like that, and they were putting caviar on it.
Darling, it's the new thing.
I'm so sick of rich people cosplaying as poor people. Like, just stop. Stop it with your whack ass, with your chicken McNuggets with caviar. Make your decision. Is it caviar day or is it chicken McNugget day? Because I'm offended. Because in my mind, I'm still with my people. Okay, so I don't, yeah.
I have tried it, by the way.
I did too.
And it's damn delicious.
It was, but that's not the point. Okay, you had to say that, because now you're messing with my point. Yeah, I tried it. It was good.
Oh my God.
Get out of my DMs.
Oh my God. I guess sort of looking at these two branches of your career, you've got music, you've got acting. If you could, maybe you can't choose, what gives you most joy?
Musicals.
Oh, clever. Do you know
Okay,
what? I
all
see
right.
what you did there.
Don't play with me.
Okay, all right.
This is an intelligent man right here. But musicals, I think that's why I so badly want to break into theater, because it allows for the things, for me to play and work on the things that I love to do equally. And I don't know how to choose between one of them. I can do one by itself and be happy, but I really do feel like I got spoiled creatively on Empire at a point.
Yeah.
Being able to, and just growing up and like loving the musicals. I love, my favorite movie of all time is The Sound of Music. Oh, darling.
So it's mine.
Shut up.
It's literally my favorite musical.
I know the movie from the beginning
Me
to
too.
end.
And I've been in like small little productions of it as a young child.
I wanted to play Rolf, but they wouldn't let me for whatever reason. It's like, I still to this day do not understand it. I really, in high school, I wanted to play Rolf so bad. When I tell you I went to Salzburg, Austria, just to see, I'm gonna show you the pictures after we're done. When I tell you I recreated every picture, From the fountain in the I Have Confidence performance to the side street next to the Von Trapp family home.
Oh my God.
Every single play. The Beethoven bridge that they all flying on during Do Adir.
Yes.
Like, come on. Like, I went to all of that. I went to the Abbey. Like, I'm not playing with these people. I'm a real fan of the Sound of Music. And I go to the Sound of Music sing-along at the Hollywood Bowl. Don't play with me. I'm a real one. Like, a real one. Like, Julie Andrews, what's up, girl? I love you. Happy 90th birthday, sis. We love you. Like, we do. Like, Queen Julie Andrews.
Iconic.
Come on.
Iconic.
Come on. When I tell you I know the movie from front to back, Liesl, Friedrich, Louisa, Kurt, Brigitte, Martha, Gretel, don't play with me. This is not a test. This is the final.
Give this guy a damn role.
Give me a damn role. I mean, I've aged out of Rolf, but I can still play Captain Von Trapp. Edelweiss. Come on. And I can really sing it.
I sing that
Plummer wasn't even really singing in real life.
Yes, exactly.
I was so disappointed when I found that out. I was like, y'all are lying. Y'all are lying because my Christopher, my boy, Captain Von Trapp, no, he's really singing. In the song Something Good with Julie Andrews, I refuse to believe that that's not him, but it's not.
I sing Edelweiss to my little boy.
You should.
Yeah, it's like a little lullaby.
It's so beautiful.
It is a beautiful. It's one of my favorite songs of all time.
We used to have a music box. We also used to have a little bear named Sammy that would skate, and he would skate to this was a toy back in the 80s. He would skate to Edelweiss, and it was just. I think that's the most perfectly made film ever, and it had substance.
Is there a role you haven't done yet that you'd be drawn to in the future?
Yes, there is.
I don't know where this is going. I'm scared.
It's my dream role, so that's why I'm scared to say it.
Go on. Put it out there.
My dream role, and I'm developing a musical, a theater musical about it. I know that they're doing a film about it. I'm sure it's going to be brilliant. I have always been obsessed with the life of Alvin Ailey, and I currently own the rights to the authorized autobiography on him. So we're developing a musical play about him. And as obsessed as I've always been with Revelations, I would love to see a number about the creation of Revelations. Like, how does someone that is just at 40 create something like that that's so impressive and just captures cultural elements, the happiness, the joy, the pain, and he's just one of my favorite people. Miss Jamison, Judith Jamison, who we lost recently, was one of my dearest friends. And so that's something that I would really want to do. I'm always skeptical about saying the things that I want to do because, you put it out there and then it's out there. But even if I were not able to bring that to life, I would love to I've just been obsessed with him, and I just would love to see his story be told correctly. Yeah. I'm
going to say that you've put it out there, and so now the energy is.
You know what? And we're creating the Revelations musical, so we'll see. I'm
Absolutely.
really excited about that.
Okay. I feel like I would be doing a disservice to my listeners and to myself if I didn't ask you about the controversy surrounding an incident that happened to you in 2019.
Y'all want to know about that? Y'all really want to know about that? With your nosy ass? No, I'm kidding. Come on.
And I'm also
y'all got to know about that, huh? I done told you about the damn food. I done told you about the damn Sound of Music. Told you about my damn child. Told you about my non-cooking ass daddy. But let's talk.
Do you know what? I actually love that you've done that because I feel like we can just relax now.
Come on.
And I'm aware that we need to be careful how we talk about this.
I know.
I understand it's legal and I get it. And quite frankly, I don't need to get sued, right? For anything that I might say.
I don't even know how it works over here.
But for the listeners who may not know, I'm going to just give the background. Yeah. That Jussie was the victim of a hate crime in 2019. But was then charged and found guilty of staging the attack himself. He was given 150 days in jail before the guilty charge was notoriously overturned in court. That's just the fact of what happened. Yeah. Let's just set the scene. I'm trying to ask this in a way that doesn't have to get you to kind of relive the
Sure.
tennis because I know that
appreciate
we
that.
want to move on and we
Sure.
want to talk about
I
other
appreciate
things.
that.
I guess where I'm quite interested in sort of hearing about is this awful thing happens,
Sure.
and that's your truth,
hmm
but yet in a weird way of how what
Twilight Zone.
yeah, it gets turned on you.
Sure.
How do you respond to people who question your truth?
Ooh. That's a good question. And I hope that I'm always skeptical because I do worry about sounding arrogant or or yeah, I worry about sounding arrogant, but to be quite honest, I don't really I can't. It's not even that I don't, it's that I can't. I can't think about that anymore. I can't think of meaning that as in the people that don't believe me. Because what that has done to me over the last 7 years, I don't think people realize it's been that long, is it's been detrimental to my mental. And I'm in such a place of I've found a way to have peace. I have found a way to have peace. And I found people that bring me peace. So, and I want to stay there so badly while also understanding that I'm promoting an album. I'm moving forward. So I get why this promo tour people would still have questions. So I want to make it clear that like I get that. I'm not a person that's sitting here being like, oh my God, don't ask me about that. No, I get like why people would. There was just a documentary that came out. The stuff was overturned recently. Everything was put away and done with, this year. So I get why it would still be a topic of conversation. But I also think that one of the reasons why even I did like the documentary is so that I don't have to talk about it anymore. And I think that because I've talked about it at length, whether I've wanted to or not, I think that everybody, for the most part, has made up their mind, whether it's that they've made up their mind and come to the correct conclusion, or if they still believe what they believed. I can respect that too. I don't like it. I really don't like it, but I can respect it because it's the only way for me to be able to properly move on. And so I get why people would want to know, but I promise you, you do know. And the information is out there and it's pretty clear. So, just attempting to, there's no, there's no shade in my answer. I don't feel any sort of way when people ask about it, because it would be a little like fake if I was doing an interview and all of the stuff that had just happened and people did not ask about it. So I get it. I respect it and I appreciate it, but I also just got to move on.
Absolutely.
And I don't, and
Absolutely.
for people that have, again, this is the last thing I'll say, is that for people that have had to, for people who have been violated in any way and have had to explain over and over and over what happened to them, how it made them feel, or just the fact that it actually did happen, that's really difficult. And so I try to brush it off and I try to be like, oh, I got into a fight. It is what it is. But it's been difficult. And I'm grateful that there are people that know me and know my heart, and above all, just show me love. I don't take it lightly. But then for the other people too, I don't think about what they think, but I promise you, like, there's only love. There's only love here for me, because I understand why people would think what they think based on the way that it was spun and the way that it was like handed to them. But I can't be the one to go through every single bit and piece and say, well, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true, because I'll be here until I'm 90. And I was 36 when this happened, and I'm 43 now. So I gotta move on.
And you look good for it.
Thank you, darling. I moisturize. It's important.
How do you get to a place of peace? Like, like, I'm just thinking of it like pragmatically. How do you get there?
Oh my
I
God.
mean, I know it's a lot of work.
But it is a lot of work, and it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen consistently. You know what I mean? Like I have to psych myself out, but it's okay because the light at the end of the tunnel is such a bright light. And there was a time, I promise you, that like I did not see the light. It was it's like there is no light at the end of this tunnel. I'm just in this tunnel, and this is just forever. But as you grow, as you gain that kind of thicker skin, I was the dude that cared about every single thing that people said about me. I can say that honestly. Like, I promise you, I was talking to my friend Candy, and I was like, I would literally sit here and there could be 10,000 comments of somebody being like, you have the voice of an angel. And I'm thank you so much. I'm grateful for that. And then there'd be one person that's like, your voice sounds like a dying lamb. And then that literally would make me be like, my vibrato is a little shaky. Oh my God. It's like, shut up. Shut up.
It's always the one.
It's
the one
always
comment.
that one thing. Yeah. And it's unfortunate to what you realize is that it's unfortunate, and it does a disservice to the people that care about you.
Yeah.
It does a disservice to the people that actually love you, because you're putting so much energy into the people that don't. And so what I've realized is that I try my best, and I don't always do it, but I try my best to concentrate on the things, give my energy to the things that matter, and give less energy to the things that don't. And that's not always easy to do, because usually the things that matter, sometimes they're based in frivolous things. Not everybody is the same, but I work in a business and I do things where once I started making money off of my art, I felt like I started being a bit of a customer service agent, because somehow my livelihood was based on how much people liked me at the time. The problem with that, I say this often, is that when I worked in customer service, when I worked retail, when I worked as a waiter, when I worked, answering phones, the first rule to that is that the customer is always right, but the customer is not always right. The customer does not always know what they want, and they damn sure don't always know what they need. So you put out your art, you be the best person that you possibly can be. You fail, you fall, you embarrass yourself, you do all of the things, and you keep moving. Because the moment that you stay stagnant too long, you might end up staying in that place forever, and it's not a good place to be. It's not a healthy place to be. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, it's not a healthy place to be. So I had to move away from that. And it still gets to me, sis. I promise you, it still gets to me. But it gets to me a little bit less, and a little bit less, and a little bit less, until that funk is not there anymore. And it smells good over here, It don't stink.
Thanks.
You smell amazing. It is. It's the truth.
No. I
We
get it.
all
And
go
that's
through
really
things.
powerful. And that is
Yeah.
really powerful. And I really appreciate your honesty and your openness. She's going to try and link it to the food somehow.
Well, we got to.
Listen.
I'm curious
and
to see how you
and again, we're not
Please
going
don't mention Subway, because that ain't the food that we're talking about. I know you ain't about to bring that up. I was thinking, like, how can we link this to the food? And I was no.
Was it a foot long?
But it wasn't for me. I got the salad, you guys. My friend got the tuna sub. Calm down. Yes, I grabbed it. I was grabbing my stuff. Leave me alone. Get out my DMs. Damn. And no, I did not eat my salad, but yes, he ate his food afterwards. Yes.
Actually, need a moment.
Is that how we connected to the food?
No, but I think you just did it.
Gotta be a better
Thank you
way.
very much. Again, I know we can't talk too much about prison, but you did decide not to eat.
Oh, honey, I was in jail.
Yeah, jail.
Baby, I wasn't in prison. Who the hell are you talking to? Girl, I ain't Martha.
Is there a difference between jail
No,
and
I love
prison?
you, Martha. That's the OG
But
right
I
there.
think what was really interesting is you made a decision not to eat in the time that
Oh.
you were in.
Ooh, that's good.
But
Oh, that's good how you brought that to food.
so I'm all over the place right now. How is food a useful tool of control?
Okay, y'all. That's a good question. They were so frustrated with me that I was not eating. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I did not eat the entire time, the entire 6.5 days I was there. I did not eat. I was a little chubby, so I had some meat to live off of. You know, it was like basically it was fat camp for me.
Cannot.
So, no, it's so crazy that you can like laugh at certain things.
I know,
Not all of the things, but just like certain.
And if you're not going to laugh, you're going to cry, right? So
Yeah, exactly. But there's so many stories from those 6.5 days, Lord. It started off in a very, very real way out of fear. We had been getting a lot of calls and threats and things like that before I went in, and I was scared. It's just being transparent. I was scared. I was scared that something was going to happen to me in there, and so I just didn't eat. And people can call me a conspiracy theorist or paranoid. Sure, and yes, but I was concerned, so I didn't eat. But what I realized after day 2, there's a certain clarity that comes. We come from a fasting family, like my family, my mother, queen of the fast. Oh, you breaking out in rosacea? Oh, baby, you need to fast. You need to cleanse. You're feeling down, or of course there are real conversations that would be had, but also you need to cleanse. It was always my eczema. I have eczema. My eczema is breaking out. Oh, just you need to cleanse. And so it was a way of, on the surface, it seemed like, I remember like my lawyer went out and he said something like, "Oh, I was fasting for Lent," and I was like, "What? What? What? No, what?" And but it became, I was so clear of mind during that point that, and I had not in a really long time talked to God, the universe, the ancestors, whatever anyone believes it is, in that intense way in so long. And it opened my mind, and it opened like a portal, if you will, um, to just be able to see things clear and to be able to make decisions clear, because life was still happening on the outside as I was on the inside. And so, and when I say that, I'm not trying to be like, I have so much respect for people that have been incarcerated, that have had to go through that. I spent time at the Chicago Torture Justice Center recently, and I spent time with people who had been falsely imprisoned for 27, 34, 42 years. I was there for 6.5 days. So I'm certainly not on the level of people that have truly, truly gone through it in a horrendous way. So I just want to make it clear that even though I make jokes about what I went through, I'm not making light of what people and human beings go through in that way. But it just opened my mind to really see, because there was a bit of woe is me, of, and I stand by the fact that none of this that happened should have ever happened. With that said, I'm a better man for it, and it just further proves that even in those moments where you're just like, well, not everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, maybe it does, and because I know that when you are being lied on, inevitably some truth is going to be pulled out.
Yeah.
And so in the process of being inside and really being so embarrassed by things that did not happen, but then also being embarrassed when things are brought up that you're just like, oh, shoot, I got to explain that one to my mom. You know, I have to explain that recklessness, although that recklessness doesn't have to do with these lies. I need to explain this recklessness to my mom. And it became so clear what needed to be done in my own self after that. You know, I was 40 years old at that point. I'm just like, this is not gonna fly. Like, this is not gonna be my life. So you just get yourself better. You make yourself better at every moment of your life. You're just trying to make yourself better. And I know, like, I'm trying so hard on a daily basis to make myself better. I know that I'm annoying to some people in my life because I want to be the best part of myself. I want to be the best version of myself, but I also want that from everybody else that's around me. And that's not necessarily easy all the time because not everybody's on the same journey as you. It doesn't make them better or worse than you. It just means that they're not on the same journey as you. So just managing your expectations of them and of yourself and everything has just been, it's just been lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson. But yeah, I did not eat a thing. They brought me apples. They kept telling me about these cookies and they kept on being like, just eat these cookies. And I'm just like, it's gonna raise my blood sugar. I haven't been eating. I'm just eat these cookies and I'm not gonna be good. Like, no, I don't want to eat these cookies. I'm just gonna drink. All I did was drink water. And they kept on being like, oh, well, Robert loved these cookies. And I kept on hearing that. I'm like, Robert loved these cookies. Robert loved these cookies. And I'm just like, I don't know what that means, but I'm not asking. I don't want to ask no questions. And sooner or later, I was like, why y'all keep telling me about Robert? Robert was Robert Kelly, R. Kelly. We had been in the same cell. Not together. Not together. He had been moved at that point. But they telling me about these cookies, and I'm just like, who the hell is Robert that loved these cookies? And they're like, and I don't know if Robert really loved those cookies. I don't know that. I don't know. I'm just, that's what I was told. And it's like, I didn't eat the cookies.
A few things, but
I didn't eat the salad. I didn't eat the damn cookies. I didn't eat nothing. I wanted to know because we were on appeal. I wanted to know what was going to happen before I had to make the decision to actually eat that food. And it wasn't because, you know, oh, I don't eat that type of food. It was like, no, like I don't want to eat. And that's just what it was. And it was centering, and the officers, the guards, they were very kind. I'm not gonna, you know, try and lie and say that they weren't. They were very kind to me. But they just wanted me to eat them damn cookies. And I didn't want to eat them damn cookies. My mind was telling me no. And my body was not saying yes.
You said it. You said it.
Just saying.
But my body.
I mean, I'm just saying. I ain't eating them damn cookies. God bless anybody that want to eat them cookies though.
Let's just step away from it and look at it more as like a sort of in a broader sort of spectrum. How, I guess this is more of a hindsight question in a way, how what happened changed your relationship to your craft, to, you know, I understand it did have an effect on your career.
Sure.
You don't even need to answer that because of course it was obvious.
They kicked Jamal off. Jamal was sent to London. Yeah. He's still there. I'm walking around London. Jamal, where you at? Where are you? He's in London. I thought about not moving here because I didn't want to bump into his ass. So it's that. So yeah, it definitely affected my career. It affected me and Jamal's career.
But yeah, I mean, you know, how does that affect your relationship with that craft, that thing that you love, the thing you just told me brought you so much joy?
It didn't affect my relationship with my craft. It affected my relationship with fame. And fame is kind of is the outcome of my craft being done publicly. You know, again, I can sing in front of my mom and be fine. She loves my voice. And she, you know, if my vibrato is too shaky, she'll tell me, but she'll tell me in a nice way. So it didn't change my perspective as far as creation, but it did change my perspective about creating because the creation was now attached to fame. And fame is not real. It's not real. Nothing about it is real because everybody does not hate you and everybody does not love you. They don't genuinely feel that way. It's about how you make them feel. It's about how there are people that genuinely love you for how you make them feel, but you shouldn't know that. You should not know the good that people think about you. You shouldn't know all the good that people think about you. You shouldn't know all the bad that people think about you. Because either way, chances are they're wrong to a certain extent. For people that think that I'm just the most incredible person, perfect human being, for the people that think that I'm just the trash human being, worst person on the planet, respectfully, you're both wrong. Because I'm neither. Like, I'm just a man trying to make it work on a daily basis. And the way that the creation, particularly of music, had been my solace, had been my go-to, my protection, my peace, the place that I was able to go when I felt alienated or alone, that somehow became, you almost resent it for a moment because you're like, just take all of this away. Like, I don't need any of this. Just take it away. At this point, I just want to go back and work at Artists for New South Africa, raising money for children infected and affected by HIV/AIDS. I just want to do that. I wasn't making no damn money, but wasn't nobody bothering me. Wasn't nobody, every once in a while I would go and sing at the Cowboy Palace with Mary White and Coca Klein. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are certain things that you can do but then when everything is stripped away, somehow you get back to that. And I was able to get back to that. And I was able to go and quietly sing at places and quietly, make a movie, or quietly, because at that point, anything positive that I was doing, nobody really cared about. So it was I know it sounds weird because it sounds negative, but it also was a positive in a sense because it allowed for me to do the positive things that I do without anybody watching it, and to be able to make the decisions of, there have been probably 9 million release dates for this album because it's been done a million times and then it changes, and it's forever changing because I'm forever changing. And once we got to the point where I knew nobody could tell me when this album was done. Nobody. It wasn't, I'm signed with Rowdy Records and legendary Dallas Austin, and he could not tell me, but he didn't try. He just let it be. David Michael Ott, who's my musical partner, he couldn't tell me, but he didn't try. He just let it be. My fiance, he couldn't tell me. Nobody could tell me. It didn't matter how many times my brothers would be like, bro, put the album out. It's perfect. It's perfect. But I'm not perfect. And I'll never be perfect, but I'm not, the album is ready, but I'm not ready. I know that, like, I have to work on my coping mechanisms better. I have to make sure that I'm good, that a person who might listen to the album and say this is the worst album of all time, which I ain't heard none of that. Okay. Ain't heard it yet. Everybody like it, but whatever, we're gonna keep it going. But just making sure that those things didn't affect me the same way that it affected me before, because the things that people would be saying now are 10 times worse than the things that they were saying a decade ago. And a decade ago is when I had the thinnest skin, So just having to make sure that, does everyone like my album? There's no way. There's no way. But do I love every single part of my album? Yes.
And that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
I think as we sort of round this topic up, I think the thing that it really raises for me, sort of on a, I don't know if it's philosophical, and it's interesting because you brought up the fame thing. And for me, it's this modern day concept of cancel culture, which can happen whether you're famous or not famous.
Sure.
But
sure. I mean, kids, think about all of the babies that are in school that are going through such horrible times and being bullied online or whatever.
Absolutely.
And they feel like they're being canceled.
Totally.
And this is the thing. My stuff was just public, but We all deal with water cooler talk at the office. It's just that my office is the damn world.
But this is what I'm saying, is that I think it's a really I'm going to call it a trend, because when I was growing up, this cancel culture thing just didn't really exist. There was no name for it.
But we grew up in a time when I think it did exist. I just think that it wasn't as rampant because of social media. So it's so fast.
Where everyone has an opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, there was cancel culture before social media. I mean, the way that we read those articles after article after article, we would just have to go into the market, and we'd see it on the cover of the tabloids, or we'd see it on the cover of a newspaper. And so it was a little bit slower, and not everybody was aware of it, but it's always been there, I think.
I just wonder, from someone, I think when you're in the public eye, you've got to it's not about selling your soul, but it's about understanding that you are going to be out there for everyone to make a comment, for everybody to judge, to scrutinize. Do you think celebrities in the public eye should be given second chances?
I mean, I think that it depends on what the story is. I don't think that I can make a broad statement, like that, because there's some really fucked up people in the world. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to. My whole thing is I can only speak for myself. I feel like a lot of people have spoken for me, and while really just wanting to speak for themselves. So for me, I just want to speak for myself and say cancel culture is not real for me, because the only whoever it may be that can cancel me is God. And that's when the only thing I can be canceled out of is this physical body. And to me, that's not cancellation, that's completion. That's when I'm done here. So how can we can cancel a show, and then we can do another show. You can cancel this podcast right now. Don't, because it's fierce. Don't do that. Keep your podcast. But if they canceled your podcast, you and your boo over there, y'all start another one. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, there is no such thing. It's in the mind. And that's what most things that are negative these days are. It's just a thing to make you so anxiety filled that you don't move. It's a thing to make you feel that you are not worthy of love. Oh my God. My mother didn't cancel me. My siblings did not cancel me. My fiance did not cancel me. My auntie, my uncle, my cousins, my friends, they did not cancel me. But those are the people that you need. If you lay your life based on people loving you, then when they don't love you, it's going to be disastrous, because your whole being is resting on someone else's thought of what you should be able to do. My world, I refuse to let that happen in that way. And look, it's so painful for somebody thinking that you did something that you would never do. It's so painful for somebody looking at you through the eyes of hate, or looking at you as a divisive figure, when literally all you want to do is walk down the street singing about love, like in the damn video for Breakout. That's all I want to do. I want to walk down the damn street like Julie Andrews, like Fraulein Maria, singing I Have Confidence. That's what the damn video for Breakout basically was. It was I have confidence. But you realize that the world is a very real place with their own opinions. But they're just that. They're an opinion. They're not a factual knowledge of who I am, you are, or you are. No one truly knows that. And if you spent half of the time that you spend trying to get to know the people that do not know you, if you spent half that time trying to get to know yourself, you would not share the same thoughts about yourself that those people share. And again, God bless them. Their thoughts come from a real place. They come from a place that they believe. So you're not here to test it. You're not here to be like, I'm not that person. And I was that person that used to be like, I'm not that person. But I can't do that, because all it does is it stresses me out, and it probably stresses you out too. So let's just leave it there.
I feel like I needed to hear that, and I hope that a lot of other people
I
felt like
hope
they needed to hear
so.
that, because honestly, there was a lot of truth in that. We're going to move on. You are appearing in Fox's Special Forces World's Toughest Test. What made you go on this show?
Girl, the money. Because when I look at that, when I look at those clips, I said, you know what? There's no way I'm going to be able to do interviews and not be honest about this. It was
Respect that.
Daddy got bills.
Well, listen, he ain't gonna do it for free.
Let me tell you something. That was hard. And it's like, yeah, it was a lot. And I did it, I did do it for the reasons that are appropriate to say of, I did it because, I want my nieces and nephew and my future babies to see when you get knocked down, you get back up. All of that is true. It's factual. But the first thing that made me open up my eyes and my mind to see all of the things that it could be was the bag. It was the bag. Because season 1, maybe I didn't need the bag as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, no, darling. Unscripted, darling? Darling, no. Season 2, they offered it. And I was like, Season 3, they came back. I was like, y'all, let's do this. Let's do this. And I'm glad that I did. Not all jokes aside, like, yes, let's keep it 100. That was a part of it. But all jokes aside, now that we have come out of it, it ended up being one of the best experiences of my life. I mean, truly, like, it was one of those things where I'm just like, I'm so glad that I did this, because it opens up your mind to, it's just deep in that way. It opens up to your mind to surrender. There's a certain level of surrender that comes with that, and it not so far mentally, not so far different from the 6.5 days that I spent. There's a certain surrender, not to the craziness, not to the bull, not to any sort of system, but you're surrendering to yourself, to show yourself that you can do this, that you can get through it. And I remember every single day on there, I would tell myself, I'm quitting tomorrow. By telling myself, acknowledging the fact that this was so hard that I wanted to quit, by saying out loud, I'm quitting tomorrow. But every time that tomorrow would come, say, I'm quitting tomorrow. So as long as I don't quit today, I'm gonna be all right.
Before we sort of round up, we need to talk about the food show that you had with your siblings.
Yes, Smollett
on
Eats.
Food Network.
That's right.
Smollett Eats. So this
And
was
our best-selling cookbook.
yeah, which I didn't know about.
Yeah.
You got a cookbook as
Yeah.
well. So this was like a sort of chop and chat family style show. I've actually watched a bit of it on YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, I found
Okay, I didn't know
I
that.
found a few snippets. I really enjoyed
Thank
it.
you.
You've got a lovely rapport with all of your siblings. I
They're
can
my
tell you're
favorite
all
people.
really close.
Yeah, we are.
That was what a fun project to
It was
work
so
on.
fun. So fun. And it was funny because I remember I was on Empire at the time, and Journey was on a show called Underground at the time. And so they wouldn't allow us to do more than 3 episodes. The Fox, which was my network, and WGN, which was hers, wouldn't let us do more than 3 episodes. So we switched off and we worked it out. So because I think we had like 8 episodes, and we were on, so each one of us were on 3 each. But it was just such an amazing time. It was the first time I got to really work with my siblings since we had our show, because we had a TV show in the 90s, one season, on TGIF and in the States. And made it here too. But yeah, getting to work with them, those are my favorite co-stars, my favorite cast members ever. And it was the best time. My niece was on the show, and it was amazing.
So kind of talking about the cooking side of things, what do you cook at home? If I was coming over, what were you going to cook me?
If you were coming over, I would probably make you, when I tell you my lasagna, oh baby, I went to Italy. And I know I'm Black, so I know my lasagna is, it's fixed up a little bit. It's not a simple lasagna. Because I went to Italy and I had lasagna twice. And I was like, delicious, not mine. Delicious, not mine. My lasagna will make you rethink your entire existence. Because how are you existing all of this time in your life? How are you 19 years old right now and you are just experiencing my lasagna, darling?
What's the secret?
Secrets.
Don't get clever with me.
Okay. When I tell you it is the best, I make every single thing from scratch. I make the sauce from scratch. They are tomatoes that I have harvested. No, I'm kidding. They are. But I use the tomato paste from scratch. I make the sauce. I'm like an Italian grandmother, but black.
I love this.
I'm a black Italian grandmother when I'm making my lasagna. And nobody can outdo my lasagna. No one.
Okay. I'm going to just say that I make a pretty phenomenal lasagna.
Well, are we doing a Lasagna Wars special edition?
I
Is that
think
what the next episode is?
we're
Because
doing
let's
a
go.
spin-off.
We're doing this. Are we doing Food Wars?
Yes.
Is that what we're doing?
Yes, we are.
Dane, book it now. Doing it. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this.
I'm
on
ready
the
to
real.
challenge
We're doing
you.
this. This is like Beat Bobby Flay.
Yeah, literally. There we go. Done. You are obviously living in London. You mentioned the food's got better. Where are some of your favorite restaurants?
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that this was a chain, but I don't care.
That's all right. We
My
don't
Petite
judge.
Jamaica.
Yeah, nice. Love.
I love it. And I don't know if this is like a hip thing, or you'd be like, oh my God. If people are going to be like, oh, bloody American. Nando's. Oh, baby.
Oh, is that the end?
Amandla. Away too. That's a South African restaurant. And when I tell you the peri peri, oh, baby, the peri peri.
How hot do you go?
Oh, I go hot.
Okay,
I don't
good.
go the hottest.
No.
But I go the step below hottest. I definitely ain't no mild such. Like,
So I used to do extra hot, but now I do hot.
I don't do extra
Sometimes
hot.
I do medium.
I
Depends
don't-
between the two.
and
And
you're forgiven.
Yeah, I know. What would you order? Like, what's the Nando's order?
I order the okay, if I'm trying to be healthy, I order the double butterflied chicken breast with like I love. That's why I'm so perfect to be here in the UK, because when I tell you I love peas,
They're macho peas.
I love
Oh,
peas.
so good.
So delicious. And I feel like they put a little bit of fresh basil in it, or is
Yes.
it mint?
It's mint.
It's mint.
And there's a tiny, tiny bit of chili as well.
Yes. And
So
you know what else
tasty.
is great? The charred corn on the cob.
Oh, yes.
The tomato salad is delicious.
Haven't had it.
But you must. It's
Okay.
it's a really nice, a delicate tomato and cucumber salad. It's very delicious. And their hummus. I had never had hummus when they come with this tiny little peri
drizzle.
sauce.
Oh.
Oh my God, the drizzle! It's not a drizzle for me. Like, it's a whole puddle because I pour the whole thing on it. Like, come on. And then, of course, if you're not trying to be cute, the chicken wings, of course.
Damn.
The
Oh my
chicken
God,
wings.
yeah.
I don't think I've ever had anything other than those things. And the pita bread there is so unusually warm and delicious. Like,
It's fluffy.
at Nando's, you can count on
You know
food. Who
You-
cares?
They need to give you a Nando's black card. Have you heard about the black card?
There's a Nando's black card.
Yeah.
And I don't have it.
Yeah.
And I go to Nando's and I'm black. What? Give me my Nando's. Do you have the black card?
Do you know what? I don't, and I should have a black card.
You should.
It's basically free food.
You should. Y'all, I would literally do commercials for Nando's if I could eat Nando's for free.
We'll have a little chat with Nando's.
I spend a nice little 50 pounds at least a week at Nando's. At least. There's never a week that goes by that it's not like I sit there and I go to my fiance, wanna go to Nando's? That's just what it is.
God, you and I
Wanna
would
go
go
to
so
Nando's?
well together.
We go together like shamanana.
Together
really gotta think.
forever.
You get it.
it.
I really feel like we are each other.
We are.
We
Yeah.
are food and fun.
So we have a new segment on this season where I go out and buy a gift for my guest, and it's meant to be a really silly gift that reminds me of you. And I struggled a bit because I didn't know what route to take. So this is really niche, okay?
Good.
These are dairy milk buttons.
Okay.
So this is why I chose them. One, this is our British chocolate, which I'm going to say to camera is better than American chocolate. Come at me. Come at me.
Get up in her DMs. Don't get in mine. She said
But
it.
the reason I chose buttons is because you were in such an iconic film as a kid, The Mighty Ducks, that they remind me of little pucks.
That is so sweet.
I don't know how I got there.
And
it's
they
niche.
are chocolate
It's
just
niche.
like I like my men.
Enjoy.
And I will. I really am going to eat this.
There you are. I always finish my chats with a few quick fire questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I mean, I'm ready.
Good. Okay. I've warmed you up. I've oiled you up. Here we go. What's
Slide some oil on me. Okay, come on.
God. I was going to say something and I actually realised, you know what? There's too many court cases out there. I can't deal with
it. None of mine anymore, thank goodness.
What is the craziest food you've
Oh
ever
my
eaten?
God, I just realized what you were talking about. Never mind. Oh,
That was
moving
such
right
a
on.
delayed reaction.
Oh God, I was so delayed. It's just... And action!
What's the craziest food you've ever eaten?
Oh, I lived in Zurich, Switzerland, and I sat down, my friends over there, Emel, who's a big singer there, and Blig, who's a big hip hop artist there, and I was sitting with them. This was like 20 years ago. I was sitting with them, and everybody had steak, and I'm eating the steak, and I'm just like, I don't usually eat steak, but this is the greatest steak I've ever had. And they're like, yeah, it's horse. And I said,
mainland Europe. Yeah.
not National Velvet.
Not Black Beauty.
Not Black Beauty, not Mr. Ed. But yeah, and then I took a moment and I was like, and then I kept on eating.
Okay, fine.
So I'm sorry, and I have not done that ever since. So
It's okay.
you know, much love to horses all over the world. Horses, don't get up in my DMs. Just chill. We're good. I don't think that y'all should be near Central Park pulling those rich people, those tourists either. I support you. So I'm sorry that I ate your great uncle Tim. Sorry.
What's been your most memorable meal and why?
Oh. Dang. It's been a lot. Most recently, my family threw my fiance and I an impromptu family dinner for our engagement. And my brother, Jake, who's a professional chef, and his fiance, who's also a professional chef,
Wow.
he and she cooked the most incredible meal. And we all were there at my sister's house. And I mean, it was like 8 courses. I mean, just coming. And it was the most delicious. Like they made cod and just it was delicious. That by far, we left that night and we're like, that was the best meal that we've had. And we cook all the time and everything like that. So, you know, I'm a really great cook. My fiance is a great cook, but that meal sitting down there was just
And with family as well,
yeah,
which is
with
always so
family.
important.
It was the vibe was right,
Yeah.
the food was right, the music was right, everything was just right. Yeah.
What food sums up happiness for you?
It might sound weird, but peaches.
Really?
That was my first solid food was peaches. And I have loved peaches ever since. I mean, yeah, it's weird. It's peaches. I like peach cobbler. I love the taste of a good peach just that makes you just to be like this.
Yeah.
It's a peach.
It's really satisfying.
Yes,
I
yes.
love that. I love the sort of like flat white peaches you can get in the summer. They are so
yes,
juicy.
or dried peaches also though
Oh,
are
haven't
really good.
tried
Yes,
dried
they are so good.
peach.
They are so good. Peaches and nectarines.
Yeah.
Nectarines is like that's the cute cousin, but peaches, you know what I mean? Like nectarines are beautiful. They'll always be beautiful, but peaches got the voice.
Yeah.
They've got the voice.
My son absolutely loves peaches.
Peaches are the best.
And it's
Peach
good for
juice,
babies. Yeah.
peach and mangoes.
Yeah.
Mango and peaches are the greatest things ever created. If I had to eat one thing for the rest of my life, if I had to eat two things for the rest of my life, it would be peaches and mangoes. Yeah. Dried, juicy, whatever.
What is...
That all sounds bad. This just all sounds bad.
This ain't called crazy sexy food for no reason.
Damn, it is crazy sexy food.
My favorite snack of all time is a packet of crisps. For our American friends, potato chips.
I mean, but who says chips?
Quite.
Hello, chips are fries. Come with
Touche.
us. Like, get it
Don't
together,
even say anything else.
Americans.
No follow-up. That's it.
Jeez.
Next question. I love it.
Done.
What is your favorite
Final
flavor of
question.
crisps?
Live
and
to
why?
eat or eat?
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny you ask. Because I actually haven't
Ooh.
thought about this.
And in
When
12
we were doing the
seasons, we have
video for
never had
Breakout,
that answer.
They had chips. They had, sorry, they had crisp there.
I always say the
And
best till last.
That's
I
what
was-
Nessa Williams said.
I
Save the
hadn't
best
eaten a
for
lot
last.
because I had to look good in my t-shirt. I had
Jussie,
to look good on my
what-
stomach for the shirt.
I-
for the
I-
shoot.
I-
But
I
afterwards,
don't even know how to
I
round
said,
this up.
Bring on the
I
crisps.
have been on an emotional
And I
roller
had
coaster
3
with
bags
you,
of crisps,
but I
and I
just want
tried
to
them
say again,
My
thank
stylist,
you for your
Vivian,
honesty.
she pulled
Thank
out
you for your vulnerability.
a bag.
It's
Is it-
beautiful to see the
is it
journey you've been.
Walker's?
Yeah, the ups and
Walker's?
downs, because it has made
Oh,
for a
flavor.
stronger, thicker skinned,
No, you
more
have no, you
incredible,
didn't.
rounded
You didn't.
man.
Thank you
Don't
very
tell
much.
me
I
that you
wish
like a
you
prawn
nothing
cocktail,
but
the
the
best
I
for the
love a
future,
prawn
and I'm so
cocktail.
excited for the
It's
next chapter.
delicious, and it tastes like no crisp I've ever had.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well,
Until next
Jussie,
time.
I would say it's
Hungry
the
for more?
worst
Hit
crisp
subscribe.
I've ever had in my life. And you know that conversation we're having about judgment? I am going to judge you.
This is such judgment. I mean, I'm a guest in your house. So now you being rude to me about my love for prawn cocktail crisp.
Don't bring your prawn cocktail into my home.
You know what? When I do my podcast and you're a guest, that's the gift that I'm going to give you. So deal with it, sister.
Well, then that kind of ruins the next part of this conversation.
Do I have to close my eyes?
No, you basically had to choose heaven or hell.
Oh, wait now, because I've never had that. So what's the Monster Munch?
You've never had a Monster Munch.
Pickled onion. I
This
don't
is
agree
this
with
is
that.
my favorite crisp of all time.
So
They're already open.
wait a second. Oh,
They-
I thought we
can-
had to
they-
fake
no,
it.
they-
You know, I used to do commercials before all of this. That's right. You better ask somebody. I did a Hallmark commercial. I think I may have done a Lay's potato. I did a macaroni and cheese commercial, and I played the young MC Hammer in the MC Hammer doll commercial. Look it up. It's on YouTube. You'll be happy. Okay, so I'm gonna try yours.
I'm not trying yours.
Why?
No, I don't eat prawn cocktail.
But you
It's
bought
not
it.
a flavour
But you bought it.
for you to try.
So you think it's so wait, hold on. Let me get this right, my dear. Because what I'm concerned with is that you think it's the nastiest crisp ever brought, but you bought it for me to eat. So if you didn't know that I liked it and you think it's awful, why do you treat your guests this way? This is the question.
He
Now
has a
I'm going to
point.
try. How American of you. I'm going to try this pickled onion, which I don't like pickles. I don't like anything pickled, but that's not true. I like pickled ginger.
I think you'll like this.
It's just all right.
Oh, shut up. Oh, for goodness sake.
Hold on.
You're saying it for effect.
Let me try the supreme prawn cocktail.
You're winding me up.
100%
No,
great British potatoes, it says. What's yours using?
No artificial flavors or preservatives.
Well, it's not potatoes. It's probably not even potatoes.
no,
it's probably
maize.
corn.
It's maize, darling. It is. It's corn. Okay.
So it's a corn crisp.
There's no prawn in your prawn cocktail crisp.
And you, my dear, are a hater. Because, I mean, there's no prawn in this. You're right. There's no damn
Do you know what they
prawn
remind
in
me
this.
of? You've been to Canada. You tried ketchup crisps.
I was just going to say it tastes like ketchup.
They're ketchup crisps.
But
yeah.
when I was a kid, I would put ketchup on crisps. So, wow. Whoa.
What?
Whoa. Listen, buddy.
What was that?
Oh my goodness, so much judgment.
Coming out left field.
You think I was marrying into the royal family?
Ketchup on crisps. I didn't even know how I feel.
And barbecue sauce.
No.
Oh, you do. Do you
I didn't
ever
think
eat chips? Do you ever eat chips?
Like fries.
Like, yes.
Yes.
Do you put ketchup on that?
I don't love ketchup.
Oh, see, I like ketchup.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but I like mixing
I don't really
it with
care
mayo.
for mayo, but see.
Oh, see, okay. Do you know what? We were doing so well.
We
I don't know
were-
what's happening right now.
I really
don't
felt
know
like
what's
we
happening,
connected.
and I'm really
And I
stressed
feel like
out.
this laugh tail of it is really tearing us apart. And I feel like we should have stopped this damn interview.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we were besties at first, and now we're foes. But I'm gonna
leave not talking to each other.
I'm taking my I'm taking my chocolates. I might even take my damn glass.
What's your favorite British food?
Jamaican food.
Touche. Don't even say anything else. No follow-up. That's it. Next question. I love it. Done. Final question. Live to eat or eat to live?
Oh. I eat to live because I live to eat.
Ooh. And in 12 seasons, we have never had that answer.
In 12 seasons, you ain't had me.
I always say the best till last.
You know, that's what Nessa Williams said. Save the best for last.
Jussie, what?
We had such fun.
I don't even know how to round this up. I have been on an emotional roller coaster with you, but I just want to say again, thank you for your honesty.
Thank you.
Thank you for your vulnerability. It's beautiful to see the journey you've been on, both the ups and downs,
Yes.
because it has made for a stronger, thicker skinned, more incredible, rounded man.
Thank you very
And
much.
I wish you nothing but the best for
Thank
the
you
future.
so
and
much.
I'm
I
so
appreciate
excited for
that.
the next chapter.
Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. Same to you. Thank you for the vibes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Until next time. Hungry for more? Hit subscribe.